Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! Yes. In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
Marco Correa. And what a fantastic header by Palmer!
Oh, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in a virtual room filled with bloody lions are here. We've got Ollie, we've got Berth, we've got Chris. It's Friday's show, and I'm going to ask you all the question that everyone wants to know. What are you looking forward to? This as the finale of the Premier League 23-24 season. What are you looking forward to?
Ooh, I'd say, and this is going to sound mad, not playing football this weekend. My last football game was last Sunday. I played 4 games in a week, and it's just nice to have a break now because my back, I'm 30 years old, and my back just cannot take it anymore. So it'd just be nice to rest and just watch the football and not have to play it for a bit. So yeah, it's probably my highlight.
That's fair. That's fair. What about you, Ollie?
Well, I'm finally back, from not being underwater anymore, and I'm happily married and enjoying my time, and not actually having stuff to do is really nice. So for the first time in quite a while, I'm gonna have a quiet one, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey!
Imagine our surprise there, Ollie.
It's the first time in ages. I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest.
It's just having a quiet.
I suppose having a honeymoon is pretty big. That's pretty good.
It's a big event in your life.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I've been very social in the last month, and I'm a hermit by nature. So,
Yeah.
You know
I hear
what?
that.
For me, on the baking menu, it will be lemon meringue blondies. Can't wait to see how that turns out.
Ooh.
And Sunday, it's the Premier League final day madness. Which game will have the wildest result with the biggest scoreline? Because there's always one. Last time it was Southampton 4, Spurs 4. We had before that Arsenal 5, Everton 1. There's always a game. And you know what? I'm going to say Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa ends with over 5.5 goals.
I'm going to go with Man
Spurs.
City beat West Ham to win the title 7-0.
I mean,
Wow.
I wouldn't even be shocked at that.
You know, like when I think it was we were going down to the final day, and we played Wigan, and
oh my, yes. Oh.
yeah, and we were like, it could go either way, and we
It didn't. It went one way. It went one way, not the way you expected. Well, it did. It went. Anyway, Chris, what are you looking forward to?
I don't know if it's looking forward to or nervous about last day of the WSL season.
Well, it's in our hands.
Anticipating.
It is in our hands. It is in our hands.
Anticipation.
You know what, though? Actually, people saying it's in our hands. It's not really, is it? Because if we win, sure, that means you pretty much guarantee the title. But if City go to Villa and score 6, it don't.
Yeah, but it's still in our hands. We just have to score more.
Yeah, but
There we go.
But I'm
Our
telling you
hands. They're in there. It's in there.
Come on, Chris.
I can't see us beating Man United away more than Man City could beat Villa away.
Oh well, that's just not hope. You've got to hope.
That's my concern. But I mean, we have got a 2-goal buffer. So
We have.
I'm hoping that if we win 2-0, Man City will only win at most
Who
4-0.
knows? Who
Actually,
knows?
could it be one? If it's a draw on goal difference, who scored more goals?
I think we. Oh, I don't know. Actually, I reckon it might be
Because
City.
if we win 1-0 and they win 3-0, it's not
Hang on.
not totally unlikely.
I'll bring up the fopmob.com website, not a sponsor, but hey, if you want to be. Let's go down. And of course, I have to go all the way. Keep scrolling. Here we are, WSL. We have scored 65. Man City, 59. There we go.
Oh, good. Oh,
should be good then.
that's actually cheered me up a little bit then.
So if we won 1-0, they would have to win 4-0.
Yeah, essentially.
Yes.
So, before we dive into the news, I just want to give a shout out to all our amazing listeners who send in us They do. They send in some awesome messages on Twitter. It's now called X. That's official. It's official now. But I'm not going to go to him. Shut up. We're not on about him. I'm not talking about him.
We get the occasional funny message as well.
Well,
but honestly, overwhelmingly, they're very nice.
We were put in a
Well,
group
you know
of
what? You
other
know what?
accounts.
I'll be the one. I'll be the one.
No.
Fuck Kevin, if you're listening.
It was when I saw we were tagged with Son of Chelsea, Carefree Jam, and there was a Chelsea podcast that I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry. I was like, oh, what's this about? Oh, it's about that. Okay.
Shout out to Kevin, enemy of the show.
Yeah,
So-
we're not going to name names here, but Kevin, if you're listening, fuck off.
Right. Anyway, people do send us awesome messages on Twitter. I refuse to call you X, even though it's now called X.com. Not doing it. Discord and other platforms. Your words do mean a lot to us. And then starting with this episode, we're gonna read some of the messages that you've sent in before our news. Keep them coming, of course. So for today, Kieran1990 gets to pilot this segment, and he said, "Hi guys, long time listener here and had to get in on the action. Chelsea fan from the days of Dennis Wise, Zola, etc. Love the show, fellas. Definitely one of my highlights during the week on my drives to work." Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Iconic era, that. Dennis Wise, famous for being in the jungle. Gianfranco Zola, famous for giving out cups of tea when he was about to be fired. Was it at West Ham or Watford that was?
West Ham,
Watford,
I think.
Oh,
Okay.
so wholesome.
No, I think it was West
and
Ham.
such a brutal way to just sack him. It's like, oh, thanks for the cup of tea. You getting fired today, mate? Oh, bless. Yeah. We wouldn't do that. We'd fire someone in the tunnel just at the full-time whistle. On that note,
We'd have the dignity to make our own cup of tea.
yes. Let's hit the news. Oh, it's time of the week. Check out the news in the elevator of Chelsea news that you may have missed, and I've got that the wrong way around. Anyway, Chelsea will land a £5 million bonus from Eden Hazard's deal to Real Madrid after the Spaniards reached the Champions League final, despite the player's retirement from football several months ago. Chelsea are considering the sale of a stake in its highly successful women's team after receiving interest from investors. Chilwell and Chukwuemeka are back in first team training. Aggie Beaver Jones has received her first call up to the England national team. And Cole Palmer has won the Young Player of the Year award. And finally, Premier League clubs are going to vote on a proposal to scrap VAR from next season. Resolution formally submitted by Wolves to abolish this system. It will be June 6th, and any rule needs a 2/3 majority, which is 14 of 20 Premier League clubs to pass. I have no idea if that's the 3 promoted clubs or the 3 relegated. I'm assuming promoted. I've got opinions on that. But anything else you want to talk about, team?
Well done, Aggie.
It was a great call up.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, like she's had a phenomenal breakout season really for us this year, and she really deserves it. So well done.
yeah, I'm just going to check the top scorers because she's the second top scorer for Chelsea behind Lauren James. Oh my word, what an outstanding season!
What's mad about that as well is she's only started 5 games.
Oh my
That's
word,
it, really.
It might be 6 now.
6, yeah, 6 starts.
It was
That's
only 5
mental.
before the Tottenham game that she'd started, and she had 11 goals. That's mad.
That is incredible. That is incredible. Right, we know where I'm going. It's got to be the news on the potential that we're seeing the end of VAR in the Premier League.
Goodbye.
I know the listeners want our thoughts. You've heard mine. I mean, this is like
know
Christmas.
what?
It's Christmas. It's Christmas. It won't happen, but it's Christmas.
It's weird. I was actually just talking about VAR with my dad, and I said to him straight away because he's a Wolves fan. I think Wolves are the ones that originally put in the complaint.
They are.
Something like that.
They're the ones who's had like the most things overturned by VAR by like a long way as well.
Yeah.
And I said to him, and he did agree with me. I think we can all agree that VAR isn't actually the problem here. It's how it's dealt with and how it's The officials are the ones. The officials are the ones here that are really to blame because
we all saw
they're
it
the
in
ones
ultimately.
Ultimately, the officials are the ones that have the final say, and what they're doing at the moment, they're going backwards.
I know.
And VAR was brought in to come in and to sort of eliminate all these mistakes. There's more mistakes now, and that's bad.
I detest VAR because of the lengthy delays and the way it leaves fans in the dark, at the ground especially. And I think for me, I can handle human error. It happens, but when you've got someone off-site looking at a decision and still coming to the wrong conclusion, that's that you basically let someone else referee the game from their point of view. And it also, as obviously with Wolves and other stuff, you also open up the potential to a conspiracy territory because, there are too many decisions, subjective calls are going against my team, but it's called in this game, but it's not called in this game. And for me as well, the offsides, a hair offside, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. Even if it's against Chelsea, I don't care. It's a hair offside because, to me, that isn't that attacker does not gain advantage if his toe is slightly ahead. Half a meter, that's totally different. I don't want it. I know I cannot see them voting a majority, but I kind of think get rid of it.
What I will say is with the offsides, and as much as I do agree with you, Mikey, offsides very much black and white. You're either offside or you're not. Whether it's a toenail,
but there's no advantage. There's no advantage.
The problem is they don't have the technology to actually ascertain whether it is off or not.
Okay, so how they do it is poor, but either you're offside or you're not. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not too bothered about offsides. What I disagree with is the fouls and the penalties and that. I watched Nottingham Forest versus Everton not too long ago, and look, I've got no attachments to either team, but Nottingham Forest should have had 3 penalties, and it weren't as if they were on the edge, sort of. They were blatant. All 3 were blatant penalties, and they weren't given. And I don't know the logic. I don't get how they couldn't have been overturned. I think maybe it'd be better if we heard the audio, but also I think that would actually make it worse because I think the fans would be more irate.
I think what annoys me there is the fact that you look at that's someone, if the referee solely and the officials that day made those calls, you'd be pissed off. Of course you would. But it would be one set of people. This then puts blame onto another set of people. You've got too many people viewing and refereeing the game.
I think the thing is,
that's the problem.
Because Berth is right. Like VAR is a tool, and the way it's being used is poor. It's like being upset at the hammer when you bang your thumb. It's like you made the sandwich here, you made the mistake. But it feels a little bit as well with VAR that referees are almost using it like a crutch as well. And I don't think that's how they should be doing it. Like VAR should be there to just oversee stuff that's definitely wrong and the refs got it wrong in the moment. But so often it feels like the refs are relying on stuff to get overturned and things like that for it to be right. Like I don't think VAR should be the judge. The referee should be the judge, and VAR should inform the referee. I don't know. I think at this stage. You've got so many, like you say, Mikey, so many cooks in the kitchen that you're spoiling the broth.
We talk more now about VAR decisions than we used to talk about poor refereeing decisions.
The thing is,
every game has a poor VAR decision now.
The thing is, like we've seen it work, like as well. Like that's what really annoys me about VAR is we've seen it work. Like at AFCON, for example, that was a perfect example of how it was used really well. The semi-offsides at the World Cup, that was the most recent World Cup, that worked really well. And so there are these elements of it that do work in other places, and it just seems like the Premier League isn't interested in adopting any of them.
I mean, if it is scrapped, all I can say is, does Timo Werner have a buyback clause? Because we cook next season, absolutely cook. One team that did cook this week, one of 2 teams. It's a double match report. It's Chelsea's women. They took on the arch rival that is Spurs in the huge midweek game, and it ended 1-0. A single Hermano goal deciding that game. I mean, yes, the title goes down to the final day. Chris, it wasn't the best of games considering we couldn't finish many of our chances, but overall, we got the result. I don't know how you feel.
Result and nothing more. That's all it was. It was go there, get 3 points, and
turned up for work, did our job, went home.
That was pretty much it. You could see after the goal, we wasn't overly fussed about getting another. It was just about protecting what we had, get the points, and get out of there. And that's how it petered out. Really, it weren't the best game.
Bit of a smash and grab.
No, I mean we will. I mean, I put takeaways down for this, and we were wasteful in front of the goal. Many opportunities to put the game away. We didn't. I noticed as well, I was looking on social about the reaction to the refereeing decisions, and Emily Heerslip, or probably pronounce that wrong, I always do. That she got a lot of dislike on social for her performances. I kind of understand, because she was also the referee that sent off the City player for time wasting when they didn't really. Many on social didn't like her refereeing, and yeah, it's not changed. Yeah, but hey, positive. I thought Katarina was absolutely solid. Can't wait for her under Bumper Store's management. That could be fun.
Yeah, she was good. There was a few good performances,
Yeah,
and I thought, I thought defensively we did well, especially in the second half where Tottenham did apply some pressure. Defensively we was quite strong, limited them to very few clear goal scoring opportunities, but it was just one of those games. It was just one of them games that just never really got going for either team.
no, and for me, overall, a win is what we needed.
Yeah.
We got it. Yes, it was a frustrating game, but we head to the weekend where it's going to be decided. We talked about it before we came on air. There's a lot right. It's in our hands. It's in our hands. That's if we keep the scoreline similar to City or whatever, it's in our hands. And I've got to be confident because this Chelsea team against Liverpool, we thought was over. It was done, the title, and we're still in it. Hey, we would have taken that when we lost to Liverpool because we all thought we weren't going to be in this situation.
It is frustrating though that we keep getting difficult games right at the end of the season. Have you picked up on that?
That's the supercomputer for you. Totally the supercomputer.
Absolute bullshit.
I know they do it. They do it through a supercomputer and it's random or whatever. But like, sometimes it really does feel like they choose.
They definitely do.
Certain times for
certain
games
they
to
do.
be played.
Of course they do.
Well, we'll see.
I don't know. Maybe we're leaning into tinfoil hat territory, but it feels like it.
Right.
No, because I tell you what. Sorry, just before we move on.
No.
You know it's not random because I seen someone say earlier. Do you know none of the in the Premier League, right?
Yes, I saw this, Chris. I think
none of
the last day.
None of the traditional top six have played against each other on the final day since 2008-9, and that was Liverpool against Tottenham, and Tottenham was 11th at the time.
I mean, they probably wanted to lose that game as well. Yeah,
there must be like certain restrictions to it, I guess, that they do.
Yeah, imagine how good it would have been.
I don't know. It shouldn't.
Imagine how good it would have been if Sunday Man City was playing Arsenal. That would have been so good.
Title decider. That would have been so good.
Fun.
That'd have been better than them both playing shit teams at home.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I suppose you can't really predict how the Premier League is going to go.
No.
So they have to. You got to give it a bit of leeway, but also it is a bit strange how none of the big six ever played just on the last day or the first day, really.
Or the first day since
the
last time I remember it was when we played Man United opening day at Stamford Bridge, beating them 1-0.
Well, hey, we'll see what happens on June. I've got it noted down because we're going to react to the fixture release. But yeah, it's sometime coming up soon. It's in June. I know that. Anyway, it's Match Report. It's sponsored by, we're now 6th with a possibility of a 5th place finish. We are like a cat in a tree. We have no idea how we got here, but we don't care. It's great. Great view. Brighton 1, Chelsea 2. Winners. Who we got? How many we got? 3. I hope it's 3.
I've got 3. And if anyone else hasn't got 3, I'm going to beat you up.
I've got a duo in together because it's appropriate. So
I'll let you off, Mike, because you run the show. So I'll let you off.
Chris, you've got 3, haven't you, Chris?
Favoritism, isn't it?
3.
I have.
Good.
I have.
Have we all got Mr. Young Player of the Year, Cole Palmer?
Of course we do.
Yes.
I mean, where do we begin with this guy? I mean,
is there anything he can't do?
I mean, well,
win Player of the Year, I guess.
I mean, first of all, he's already surpassed Eden Hazard's record for most goals and assists in a Premier League season. Hazard had 31.
I couldn't believe that.
I know, in 31 in 37, whilst Palmer's got 32 in just 33. I mean, these numbers are outstanding, especially for his debut campaign. That was prime Hazard, and this guy is the player of the season for me. Plain and simple, player of the season. Phil Foden has been good. He has, but he plays in the damn best team in Europe. Cole Palmer, on the other hand, has been playing in a young team that's still sort of finding its feet, and he's been the epitome of what we say Lion of the Week.
I think Palmer is second behind Foden. I've got to give it Foden because Foden has been unbelievable, but Palmer's been better than Saka. He's been better than Watkins. He's been
in a poor team.
He has been unbelievable. I think Yeah, I get it, but I think it's hard to stand out in a really, really good team. Like, bear in mind, Foden plays with De Bruyne, Haaland. He stood out in that team.
Watkins stood out for Villa this season.
I mean, Messi did all right for Barcelona.
Yeah, Messi's Messi. No, I mean, come on, that's not. But no, I think with Palmer, I think we've been crying out for an Eden Hazard replacement for years, and I think we finally got it. He's that magician. He's that player that even if he doesn't play well, he'll produce a moment, a goal, and an assist. And he's that X factor player that we have been missing for years now.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of credit has got to go to Pochettino because, you know, you can give credit to Palmer, definitely unbelievable player, but Pochettino's had faith in him. He's playing in the right positions. He's gave him that game time, so you got to give a bit of leeway to both of them, really. But yeah, what a player, and there is literally nothing he can't do.
no.
And the biggest thing that annoys me with people is when they say, "Oh, but he scored 9 penalties." Yeah, he scored 9 penalties as well. He scored 9 of them as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because we all say that my takes are either dead on, I hit them right out of the park, or they're a total flop and I've hit my face right in the dirt. And I'm so proud that for every time that someone will bring up Kante to sell to Inter, I can then bring up Cucurella as Brighton's player of the season, etc. And this one, when I said on August 30th, I said, if Man City sell us Cole Palmer, it will go down as a huge mistake on their record of usually top-class transfer business. Thank you. Good night. That's all I got.
Can it be considered a mistake if they still win the league?
Well, really, Cole Palmer selling him was a mistake.
I'm just saying,
it was a mistake.
If they still win the league, they couldn't have any
me.
bigger an achievement despite selling him.
Well, they could. I mean. They could have all what they've got now, their trophies, and Cole Palmer, and they don't.
But, you know, I think this is very much like when we sold Salah and Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
In the terms of, I don't think you see this Cole Palmer at Man City.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Because I think you're absolutely right, Beth. I think Poch deserves credit because he's give Palmer freedom to play.
Yeah.
He has said to Palmer, you go and do what you want. It's very much like what Sarri did with Hazard when he had his best season.
I think Sarri actually did try and give him instructions and Hazard went no.
Yeah, I think Hazard's one of those players who just ignores
we were playing against
people,
West Ham.
Yeah.
No idea who we were playing.
But I don't think you'd see this version of Palmer at City because Pep's very tactical and everyone in his team has a role that they have to do. And I don't think
I think you could see a glimpse of it, but you definitely wouldn't see this Palmer.
No.
I don't think anyone expected this from Cole Palmer. Like even his biggest,
I did.
Even his biggest flaw. Shut up.
I knew straight away. That's why the tweet went out.
I don't think even his biggest plaudits wouldn't have told you that he would have had a season as good as this. I do hope though that next season we don't have to rely on him as much because if he runs cold, but which he like the pun there. If he runs cold, then and we rely on him so much, then we're going to struggle as a team. So, I really hope that I almost hope that he doesn't score as many next season because I'm hoping he doesn't have to, if you know what I mean.
Well,
I think the major concern for me with Palmer is people's expectations going ridiculous.
Yes.
He wins the Ballon d'Or next year.
Well, yeah, but it'll be that thing, won't it, where he's had such a good season this year. If he doesn't score in the first 3 games of next season, everyone will be going, "Oh, what? Oh, shit, absolute shit, no point."
That would be very much standard social media commentary on football.
And I think that's the problem when you have a breakout season like he's had. It's hitting those heights again in terms of people's expectation because I think it will be different for him next year because I think our expectations will be higher, the media's expectations will be higher, but also teams will start trying to figure out how to stop him.
No, I think you're pretty spot on. I mean, we all know social media overreacts to everything. Look at one example, wasn't in the news, but Mudryk wore a Barcelona shirt in his Instagram story and everyone lost their damn minds. It's like, it's a shirt. It's a shirt. Honestly. Calm down.
Also, would anyone actually care if he went to Barcelona?
They can't afford anyone.
Well, true.
They can't afford us.
I honestly wouldn't. I'm not even sure I would blink if we sold Mudryk in the summer.
Oh no! But there's a hot take for the summer. What about a second loser? Someone throw a name out. Or
I've got one.
Go on.
I've got one. Christoph Nkunku.
Yeah, he was mine.
He's on mine.
He's on mine. Well done, team. Outstanding performance.
I think we can all agree that he's actually a fantastic footballer. He's really,
is.
really good. And I
Not
don't
bad.
think people have sort of gone onto this, but he hasn't played much football, but he's got 3 Premier League goals.
Yeah.
Which is actually really good, I think, considering the amount of time he's played. He adds, again, you talk about X Factor. I think he's one that does bring that to his Chelsea team. He is that.
That was not meant to happen.
You know what? Exactly. That perfect timing. But yeah, he just, I think he's another one that gives that X Factor. And I think if you keep him fit next season, along with Palmer, that's a real dangerous front three, as along with Nicholas Jackson, and he has that killer instinct in front of goal. I don't doubt his finishing abilities because he's had 3 chances now and he scored all 3, and it's a real classy finish, and he changed the game when he came on, and his celebration alone, he deserves to be a winner.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because it's iconic, isn't it? Really
nice to see.
I mean, I can't wait to see 30 balloons next season. And for listeners who wondered what the heck was going on in the background there, I clicked refresh on my feed to see if there was any breaking news, and a video of Cole Palmer with a TikTok music was in the background. So there you go. That's why. Okay.
And Nkunku, just on Nkunku as well. Like, for me, that game that we've just played with him in it, it felt like he had kind of arrived, and not just because of the goal he scored, but because he finally looked like that difference maker, that little bit of magic that we need, and that sort of world class kind of finishing. And you can tell like he's head and shoulders above a lot of the rest of the team in terms of his instincts and the way he likes to play.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's kind of finally arrived. He's finally here, and long way it continue.
My double, which is also concluding all my winners, was Cucurella and Caicedo, because I combined them on my list because they both deserved recognition, for their outstanding performances. Not only did they put in dominant displays against their former club, they also did it with dignity and maturity. I mean, the boos they were ringing out across the Amex Stadium, and yet they didn't react, they didn't lash out. They maintained their composure and focused on their game. And I thought Cucurella as well was quite in particular for me, because he showed resilience, because in the opening 15 minutes, it did look like it kind of got to him a little bit, the booing and everything. And he felt the pressure. It was a hostile crowd, but he regained that composure and he just dominated the game in the best way. And that ability to adapt under that pressure is quite commendable. And he's grown as a player this season, absolutely grown from last season. And for both of them, high level of performance. They set an example for everyone. And they're a reminder of why they are such valuable assets to Chelsea. And we were going to get rid of Cucurella in January window. There was rumours, and hey, we didn't.
Still might.
I really can't see it now. I can't. He's too key. And I want to touch on the Caicedo thing, actually. He registered more successful ball recoveries with 7, successful final third passes 9 than any other Chelsea player against Brighton. No player for either side registered more ball recoveries, and he created the joint most chances for us with 2.
Well,
Caicedo
is my third winner as well. And I just think I reckon since January, he's actually been unbelievable. And again, it's another lazy opinion online where, he's been a flop. He's been a flop. Those people clearly don't watch Chelsea games because you could argue
he's the best flop of all time.
Was it goal.com that put him in the top 3?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Something ridiculous.
That's just embarrassing. Come on.
It is embarrassing because clearly people don't watch football. They follow other people's opinions, and it really pisses me off because Caicedo, and I think he's been in my winners list for about 3-4 weeks now in a row. He's actually been a beast in that midfield, and he's run the show. And whether Enzo's there or not, take that out of it, his performances have been phenomenal. He's run that ball back more than anyone I've ever seen before in my life. His passing's been really good. He's creating chances, and he has been absolute. I don't think he's dropped below an 8 out of 10 for the past 5 or 6 weeks. And for me, that is a real mark improvement.
Yeah,
and I hope he continues that into next season.
And when you see he's a flop, goal.com put him in the top 3 or top 2.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I mean, they get paid to talk nonsense. We don't. And yet, we're not even biased on it. Caicedo has been outstanding in this year. Outstanding. Right. I'm going to, Ollie, who's your final winner?
My final winner was one of yours, Mikey. It was Kukurea. I thought he was absolutely everywhere. Did really well to clean up, especially in the second half. The amount of specifically the amount of tackles he made on the edge of the box and stuff to snuff out chances. He had a really, really solid game, and I was just really impressed with his all-round performance because especially he was in midfield as well. I always say with Cucurella, it feels like he either has an absolute masterclass or he has a disaster class. And today was one of his. And the game against Brighton was one of his masterclasses because I don't know, he proved that he can be useful to this team finally, and I'm really happy to see it. Also, he's a winner because after the game he posted a random picture of John Cena.
I know, I didn't get it, and Brighton fans really got pissed about that.
Yeah, so what happened was it was ages ago. No, go on, Buff, you explain it.
Yeah, I'll give you context. So John Cena on his Instagram, I don't know if any of you follow him, but I do. He'll always post a picture, but he won't put a caption or anything. And I think last year he posted a picture of Mark Cucurella with no caption.
Yeah, for no reason.
Of course he did.
For no reason at all. And then I'm guessing Mark Cucurella is just...
Yeah.
But Cucurella also did an interview with Palmer and Gilchrist the other day, and I think they asked Palmer, what does www dot mean? Palmer didn't know, and for some unknown reason, Cucurella just went John Cena, and then, they all burst out
WWE.
So there we go. When you said earlier, what can Palmer not do? Tell you what www means.
Yeah.
World Wide Web, Cole, if you're listening. World Wide Web. It might help.
Do you know what? That's something that really annoys me. Everyone says www dot, but actually it's quicker to just say World Wide Web dot.
Or HTTPS.
Honey, grow up. Grow up. Stop being clever and grow up.
Yeah,
Chris,
it's hard being right all the time.
Chris, who's your final winner?
My final winner was Caicedo as well.
Yeah, look, we're on page. We are
4 winners between the 4 of us.
Yeah, that's mad. That's mad.
You know what I think that is though, because I don't think there was that many outstanding players on the pitch. I think that's why. It wasn't like a game.
Could have given one to Chalobah.
Chalobah was on the brink. Chalobah was on the brink.
Yeah.
But I thought it was just like a pretty good, solid performance rather than being an outstanding one, if you know what I mean. So there wasn't that many players who stood out, but I thought Caicedo, to be fair, I did doubt whether we'd ever see the money's worth player or the player that we saw at Brighton. But Berth's right. For probably since the Arsenal game, a bit like everyone else in the team, really. And for some time before the Arsenal game as well, he's been really good, really solid, just doing his job, going about his role quietly. And I think now he seems to have got more confident. You're seeing his passing range is really good as well. We didn't see earlier in the season, we didn't see that. He was winning the ball back still, but then he was just passing it a couple of yards or giving it away. But some of the passes he plays now, the forward passes especially, are really, really good, and they really help our attack. And I think he's another main reason as to why we've started to score more goals in the second half of the season, because his ability to turn defense into attack really quick with his first forward pass is actually a real asset that we haven't had.
I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Losers. I was struggling, everyone. I was to find any real losers in this game until our captain decided to display a complete lack of maturity by kicking out at another player. So yes, Reece James is my loser, and I think it's fair to bring him into this discussion because there were many complaints about how Lamptey wasn't sent off for an earlier elbow on Mudryk. And he's concussed. We know that. It's concussion. He's now in the concussion protocol. He misses Bournemouth. But the thing is, that's kind of a distraction from the main issue here. Lamptey's actions had nothing to do with Reece James kicking out. Nothing at all. And I got to say it. We love him. He's our captain, but we need to focus on what our player did. And it's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable behaviour from anyone in the game, especially in our team, let alone the captain of our club. As captain, you are instantly held to a higher standard. And that game, James failed to meet them. It was reckless, and it results in a 4-game ban, we now know, causing him to obviously miss the opening 3 fixture next season, which is going to hamper us and hamper him to get kicking into the that's probably the worst term I could have used, isn't it? Kickstarting his season next year. Anyway, but yeah, look, the incident reflects poorly on him, but it also impacts obviously us for our preparation and strategy for the start of the new season. I mean, dude, you just got to keep the temper in check. You know, you've missed the majority of the season due to injury. The armband is an honor. You know it's an honor. You've said this yourself when you were awarded it. You got to. It's just one of them where you just think, what was the point? Because unfortunately, that also could have cost us the game. Because I don't think Welbeck scores without.
No, because the goal comes down the right hand side.
That's the thing, and it was just one of them. I mean, take it as you wish. You know, we're not going to be too jump on him, but you can't do that. You just can't do it.
It's actually just so stupid. It's literally, and you know what? It's not the first time I've seen Reece James just be a bit petulant, and it's silly. That's a worry. That is a worry because as a captain, you just can't do that. And I've
got to be held to a higher standard, haven't you? You know,
well, this is the thing. Lead by example. You got to lead by example, and I've said numerous times on this podcast. I don't know how many more times I have to say it. I think Conor Gallagher should be captain because I think he is more of a leader and a captain than Reece James. And Reece James is obviously an incredible player. Nothing away from him. But Conor Gallagher does pick up a yellow card and he is a bit rash at times at tackling. But I've never seen Conor Gallagher kick out like that. I think Conor Gallagher was actually quite level-headed. Reece James, I've seen him just do that petulant little flick out a few times now, and that's a worry and it's a real concern. And to be honest with you, if he did, maybe it's a bit too late, but if he'd have played against Brighton for a full game and maybe a full game against Bournemouth, he could have been in contention really to play in the Euros. He could have gone to the Euros. It's not out of the question. So
yeah, now he likely won't get in the squad now. I would have thought.
And this is the thing. He's become his own worst enemy, Reece James, and it's a real shame because obviously on his day he's a world class player, but he is unreliable. He is unreliable at the minute, and he just that's the truth.
Was it against Newcastle? He did something silly, and that was when he got his other red card this season.
Yeah, he got his 2 yellows that day.
Yeah.
There was one thing as well where he got sent off while he was on the bench this season as well. I'm not sure if many people knew that.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
But it's so annoying, and people try and justify what he did by saying, "Oh, well, you know, he's just come back from injury, and João Pedro's kind of kicked out, giving him 2 bad tackles in a row." I don't care if he slept with his missus. In that moment, you have to put the team above yourself, and James failed to do that, and that's really disappointing, especially for your club captain.
Yeah, Chris.
In all fairness, Alice, because if someone had slept with my missus, I would have probably battered him.
Oh dear,
I probably would have battered him. No, yeah.
Yeah, well, you would have got a red card as well.
Yeah, you'd been sent off, and you would be missing the first 3 episodes of next season. Chris, well, I don't know how to go from there. Chris, we know what position James plays at now. Be right back. He's going to be. He'll be right back again. Really Chris, come on. What was your take on it?
Well, the stupidity of it is, I think sometimes when your players get sent off, you do feel like you want to defend them, but it was indefensible because if it was a really bad tackle, like I don't know if you remember the Nemanja Matic getting sent off against Burnley. When, was it Ashley Barnes? Basically nearly broke his leg. So Matic reacted, grabbed him on the throat, and got sent off. And people said then that it was stupid, but like that was near a career-ending tackle. João Pedro tripped him over. Like it wasn't even a bad tackle. It was just a standard foul that you get in every game. Like, and then to kick out like that when we're 2-0 up, cruising in the game as well. It was just so ridiculous. And Reece James does have that. He does have that character where he is like a petulant kid. And the problem is that when you are captain, you can't do that, and especially when you haven't been captain very long. I mean, you know, we all remember. Yeah, we all remember Terry getting sent off in the new camp for kneeing Alexis Sanchez up the arse for no reason.
To be fair, and we all at the time, everyone was flaming JT for that as well.
Yeah. But that was a similar thing where you just think like, what are you doing? It's petulant, it's stupid. But at least Terry had been captain for years, so he had credit built up as a captain. But when
The other thing as
you're
well is it's in like it. Terry didn't play in the VAR era. You know
No.
now if you kick out, you're
Yeah,
gonna get sent
Oh
exactly.
off.
yeah,
Like
instant.
as
Every
soon
pro
as
knows that.
as soon as it went to as soon as they said they was reviewing it, you knew he was going to get sent off. And
Mhm.
the problem is that for Reece James, when you're a player who isn't fit very often, when you are fit, you can't be missing games through suspension. You know,
Yeah.
you have to be, if you're fit, you have to be able to play. And I just think, I think James isn't ready for responsibility. I know Gallagher got sent off earlier in the season, but that was for a late tackle. You know, that's going to happen. That's part of the game. It wasn't for being petulant. I think James has shown on too many occasions now that he's not ready for the responsibility of being captain, and it'd be better for him to just concentrate on getting fit and playing without the responsibility.
Just let him be the best right back in the world. Take the pressure
Yeah,
off him. You know, like
exactly.
I was originally like saying like, you know, you got to strip him of the captaincy and all this stuff, and I kind of walked that back a bit because my head, the head loss at the time was absolutely unreal. But it does feel a little bit like as the captain, like I say this, and it is true of Gallagher, which is why a lot of us think we should be captain. You've got to set the standard physically and mentally for the team. Physically, it's not his fault, right? He's had
Yeah,
a lot of injuries,
that's
he's
fair.
had surgery this season, but he hasn't been able to set the standard that way. Now he's proved he can't do it mentally either, right? And as a result, it just feels like it just. I think we just need to. James needs to take some more time out of the spotlight to just get his head right, because it, for whatever reason, at the moment, it's not working for him.
My second and only other loser was VAR because it was a tragic day for them. You know, it started with the news that the clubs obviously are going to vote on whether to kick it out of the league for next season, and it ended with it deciding that an elbow to the face that has led to Mudryk suffering a concussion and missing the final league game, of course, was not a red card offence.
It wasn't even a foul. They didn't even give a foul for it.
If 4'11" Lamptey catches you above the shoulder, his arm is in an unnatural position. It's a straight red.
Yeah. 4'3" Lamptey as well. Like people saying, you know, like, oh, you know, he's only tiny. Like, how's he battered Mudryk? If I elbow you out of nowhere in the side of the head, I guarantee you it will hurt. It doesn't matter how big you are.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I mean,
and refereeing was a loser for me as well, Mikey, because like there were calls all day that went unnoticed. There was like you had that with Lamptey where he elbowed Mudryk in the head and nothing happened, and then apparently, you know, Jackson's offside / foul goal, whatever that was, where it seemed that they didn't give that because it was a tiny nudge in the back when he had only been thrown to the floor, where he got thrown to the floor against Forest just a week before. You know, and with no penalty, and it like just the whole refereeing in the league at the moment is just so inconsistent. Like there was 4, 5, or 6 yellow card worthy tackles I saw from Brighton players in that game and none of them were even given as fouls. It was unbelievable.
Any other losers?
I've got one.
Go on.
Spurs fans.
I don't want to even get into that.
Are you just blaming them every week?
You can't cheer your own team to lose. No.
Honestly, I am. I can't believe the state. Obviously, it's not a Spurs podcast, but I can't believe the state of them. Like, have some self-respect for your team.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know they don't want Arsenal to win the league. I get it. I totally get it. But to cheer a goal when it goes in for the opposition team is actually
such
a
bad.
small mentality. It's ridiculous. And Ange Postecoglou, I have to give him credit. You know, he called out the Spurs fans and he's called out the mentality of the club. Don't get me wrong, by the way. Ange Postecoglou isn't a massive winner himself. I know he's won at Celtic, but isn't exactly, you know.
But the fact that he's telling you that, it should say it all, shouldn't it? He's not a massive winner, and even he knows your club.
Conte said it. Mourinho said it.
Exactly, Mark. He's not the only manager to say it. No. When do you start to think maybe this club is the problem? Maybe this mentality is the problem. They're an absolute disgrace.
I'd never want Chelsea to lose if it stopped. Say, here's Spurs win the title if we beat Man City. I don't care. I want Chelsea to win the game. I can't be like, yes, they lost. You know, if at the end of the day you lose and it does impact that, then
it's a win-win, isn't it?
Okay.
You either win,
but I'm not there
lose.
cheering. We're not cheering it on. No, won't have it.
And just on Spurs as well, they have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever if they lose to Sheffield.
Yeah.
If we
Imagine.
win, and if we win
Imagine.
and they lose to Sheffield, and then Man United win the FA Cup, they get Conference League.
Can't wait. Oh, Chris, who's your final loser if you've got any others?
Yeah, I've got one left. I've got social media people who still want Pop Show.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And do you know? And do you
Agreed.
know why? Because we've got the 4th most points in the league since this calendar year,
Outstanding.
2024. We've scored so many more goals than last season. We've started to concede less goals. The team looks like it's set up properly. We're winning games. We could still get Europe.
There's a
We could still
togetherness as well.
We could still finish above Spurs. All the players like him. The manager market is absolutely trash if you did sack him. So they're losers because they cannot make a single well-reasoned argument now for why they want him out, except for they're being stubborn because they said they wanted him out in November.
And to be fair, a lot of even us, some of us on this podcast said at times this season he's got to go. And to be fair, he's turned it round, and we were wrong for that. Maybe at the time it would have been the right decision. Now it isn't.
No.
Yeah.
100%.
Do you know what I hate as well? Do you know when people call you out on that and they say that you're flip-flopping? It's not flip-flopping. It's just changing your opinion based on the evidence you're given.
Yeah, exactly.
Changing your opinion based on new information is a sign of intelligence.
It's not like we've gone flip-flop in the sense of, well, we can't sit, we're winning one game, losing another, winning one. We've won the last 4 in the league.
Yeah.
That's progress.
And to be fair, and
since we didn't get lucky
January
either
as well. It's been like months of good play, more or less. Outside of a disaster against Arsenal, we've been good since January.
You know, we beat obviously Spurs 2-0, good performance. We beat West Ham 5-0, amazing performance. Obviously did that comeback against Forest. That showed progress again, and obviously just beat Brighton. Outstanding. You know, nothing but positive to say. Emojis. I've got the balloon because we finally got to see Nkunku's iconic celebration. It just felt so good.
Lovely balloon.
I love that.
Lovely balloon.
I'm going with the frozen emoji because Cole Palmer with that header and winning Young Player of the Year, he just deserves all the thanks in the world from Chelsea fans this season.
Damn right.
What let's have a look at what emoji I'm going to give.
I'll do mine while Berth's looking. I'll just go with the up arrow because that's the way that we're going. That's the trajectory we're on.
We're going up.
I'm going to give the chef's kiss one because that Cole Palmer header,
what a header.
is magnificent. One of the best, considering Cole Palmer's not that great in the air. That's a tremendous header, like one of the best headers you'll see. So yeah,
It's a good cross from Kukurea as well.
It was a good cross. Was a good cross. It's time for Line of the Week. Our midweek picks were. Oh, this is a good one.
Oh dear.
No, hang on. We have Conor Gallagher. We have Reece James and Caicedo. So I think 2 of us did all right there.
Was I Caicedo?
I think you were. Yeah.
Berth was Reece James.
We know
I was Reece James. I was Reece James.
Berth, that's not on you. Reece James has let you down.
He's let you down.
Yeah,
He's let you down.
Fuck Reece James. Fuck Reece James.
Whoa, calm down now.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Sorry. That's the beer talking. That is the beer talking.
Final game of the season. We host Bournemouth on, I've wrote Saturday. It's not Saturday. It is Sunday. It's the final time this season that I get to say, who are we choosing?
I'm going to go with Nkunku.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Nicholas Jackson.
Love it.
I'm going to double up on it. Give me Caicedo again.
Caicedo, I get to spin the wheel for the last time this season. Let's see if it's doing me good.
Well, half those names won't be on that wheel next season, will they?
I know, they'll all be sold. And I have got... Reece James.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's so unfair.
Go on, that's a respin.
Well, I've got no choice, so he's not there. Well, he might be. He might be in the stadium. I mean... Oh, that's all right. Trevor Chalobah. He won't be here next season.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good one, though. That's a good one. That is a good one.
But Chris is right. He probably won't be here either next season. So
definitely won't be here next season.
No, change the wheel.
Yeah. Right. We have some Quaresma's questions, and we have got an interesting one, actually. Josh Thompson said, if Nkunku never gets injured, do we reach top 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
100%.
He's a cut above.
No, I still don't think
You
so.
think it'd be the same process, the progression?
Yeah, because I still think that the problems in the first half of the season wasn't really down to anything we was doing going one way.
But although we changed our plans and stuff and changed the way we played, cousin Kunku got injured.
Yeah, but then I still think all the other injuries would have taken their toll still.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, we didn't have a back four at one point.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
you're not
that
wrong.
is
but
actually a very good point.
I think given I'm just thinking of like a few like key results. If you win the game versus Sheffield, if you win the game versus Burnley,
Yeah,
if you win both
that's
games versus Wolves,
yeah.
like we're there or thereabouts. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Nkunku
Yeah.
could have made that difference.
Yeah. Right. Move into Lone Army. Oh yes.
Yeah.
And
Here we
Berth's
go.
already got his excuse lined up if he says that he wasn't fully sober. Let's put that out there.
That's a lie. I can
Right.
still win.
What's
I
my
can
excuse?
still
I do
win.
this show drunk every week.
Right, we have got a very good question. It's the category is English players in the Champions League, and that's because I'll tell you why. A lot of English players have had no issue scoring in the Champions League over the years, but can you name every Englishman to have scored 5 or more in the competition since '92? That means total goals scored, not all in one season, of course. So everyone's on today. So this is going to be really interesting because according to the Lone Army rankings, Chris is on a 3-peat at the moment. So we haven't played since,
Yeah, but
we
I'd
haven't
say-
played this game since a month.
And in all fairness,
Wow.
I was missing for a long time, so I think we need to start into consideration.
Wow.
I
We'll
I
go-
don't think so.
I think we should.
We will go Berth, Chris,
I
and
will
Ollie.
see who wins this time, won't
Yeah,
we?
exactly. We'll go
We
Berth,
will.
Chris, and Ollie. And I'm going to go to Berth. I need an Englishman.
Frank Lampard.
He is on there.
Very nice. Was it me next? Sorry,
Yeah, it was.
I didn't listen to the order. That's my bad. I will go with Wayne Rooney.
He's on there.
Steven Gerrard.
He's also on there.
Harry Kane.
Yes.
Oh, that was a nice shout, Beth. That was actually going to be my next answer as well. So,
Well, get a new answer then, Chris. That's the game.
It is the game.
I'm going to go with Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
Good one. Very good one.
Jude Bellingham.
Yes.
Andy Cole.
Yes.
Oh, I will follow Beth's thought process there, and I will go with David Beckham.
Yes.
Phil Foden.
Yes.
Paul Scholes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Bit rogue,
Ooh.
but you said 5 goals, didn't you?
A 5 or
You said
more.
5.
That's the rule.
Theo Walcott.
He's on there.
Oh, that's a great shout. What a shout.
This is a slightly rogue one because I think he did score enough goals. John Terry?
Yes.
I was just thinking him actually.
This is a real bold shout as well. Peter Crouch.
Yes.
Oh, tell you what, Beth, that is nice. English. 5 goals.
If you all get a full house on this, I will buy everyone 3 drinks because there's one name on it I do not believe you're going to get. Really don't.
But if that's your job.
That's Berth's job. He's going to nail that name and be like, him. Like,
Oh, I don't know about that.
English Champions League. I'm just.
Mikey, where's the sound here? Where's Jason Cundy here?
I might be out.
Has anyone seen Spurs?
Need a name. Right, you can't
No.
do. Oh, he's out. Chris.
No, I've gone.
Unfortunately, only scored 4.
He did. Ollie.
I'm gonna go with Shearer.
Yes.
Nah, didn't.
Shout.
Really?
Yeah.
I even
Yeah, I
thought
thought-
of him,
yeah,
but
I-
I thought he didn't play in the Champions League enough.
Oh,
Right.
You're going to
I
kick
don't think
yourself
you've
with
got
some of
many.
these players if you don't get them.
I think Marcus Rashford.
He's on there.
Yeah.
Sancho. With
Yes.
Dortmund?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna go Sancho next. Oh no. Right. Oh, Reece James.
No. Ollie can win it. Ollie could win it.
Okay. All right, we've had Andy Cole. What about Joe Cole?
Yes, we've won.
Yeah. That's a great
Wow,
shout.
great
I am-
shout, Ollie. Great
Well
shout.
done, Ollie.
You could have had Alan Smith as of Leeds and United fame.
Alan Smith, yeah.
Oxlade Chamberlain.
What?
Oh my God.
Oxlade. Hang
I
on.
never would have guessed
Hang on.
it.
How many does he have? It must be 5.
It must be. I don't know. I haven't got it in front of me, but he does. Chris
It
Sutton.
can't be much more than that.
Chris Sutton. Danny
Oh, for
Welbeck.
Celtic.
Danny Welbeck.
Jesus,
Oh
it
my
just proves you
God.
don't have to be a good striker to score in the
No,
Champions
you do
League.
not.
John Stones. Lee Bowyer. Michael
John
Owen.
Stones has
Wait,
got
John
5.
Stones.
Yep. Steve
Wow.
McManaman.
Michael Owen's. Oh, I can't believe
Teddy
Michael Owen.
Sheringham. And the final one, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't believe any of you will have got. And if you're listening at home and you go, I remember him, he retired at Ross County in the year 2000. Mark
No, you didn't.
Hately.
No,
I do
never
not
would've got that.
remember this player, but he played for Milan and Monaco in the Champions League. So
I don't know who that is.
Do you know what? I
No.
miss the days when a random Englishman played for some random team in Europe.
we're not ending though yet. We've got Hazard's headliners because I've got another one on the books.
Ooh.
And the
Yes.
concept is I pick a player who's been in the news this week. He's made a headline or making headlines. You get 5 clues, guess who it is. They get easier as they go along. So you got to get it as little. You work together essentially, I guess. But so you got this. Oh, I nearly said his name. I nearly said his name. It's on the
We always had a
top.
former blue situation.
Oh, right. This player has won the FA Cup once, but he's been a runner-up twice in his career so far in the FA Cup.
Probably plays for Spurs.
No, Spurs have
They've
won the
never
FA Cup for
they've never
ages.
won
Yeah,
the FA Cup.
that's true. Won the FA Cup once, runner up twice.
You know what? I'll go to the second clue. He scored twice on his first team debut against FC Midtjylland in the Europa League in 2016.
Is it?
Oh, Christian
Is it Marcus Rashford?
Oh, bloody hell. Nicely
Yeah, I
done.
was about to
Yeah,
say,
so I
that
know
was
Chris.
very
First
good
of
job,
all,
Chris.
the reason he's in the news is because he's just made his 400th appearance for Man United this week. And the other 3
400,
clues were he made his England debut against Australia in 2016 and he scored on his debut then. He currently plays for United. And the 5th clue, which I felt would give it away completely, was that he was awarded an MBE in recognition of his campaign to support vulnerable children during the pandemic. So overall, a very
It's quite
good
ironic, really,
guy.
considering he can't finish his dinner.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's a bit.
Oh.
This episode is through a lot of shade. It is.
Hey,
it's been.
Listen, we all remember when Rashford was good, and he was good, and now he's not good.
and we'll
I'll be
probably
honest,
make a bid for
I'll
him
be
this
honest.
summer.
Nah, I'm not even joking yet. I think Marcus Rashford's the most overrated player there's ever been. But hey,
Yeah,
we move.
agreed.
Wow. Listeners, we are at the end of another episode. Treat yourself well. Thank you for listening. We're back on Monday with our final winners and losers of the season, alongside the end of season awards. Yay!
Yeah.
Hey, it's better than last year's. Last year's was shit.
That's true.
We-
We have
we-
actually had some positive players.
We
this year.
so struggled. I mean, our player of the season last year was Thiago Silva. Nothing against him, but that kind of said enough.
He kind of
That's
won it by
all.
default.
Yeah.
He could have
I
won all
wonder
of it.
who's getting it this year, though. I wonder who's getting it this year. That'll be a.
Yeah, that's a
That-
cliffhanger to end on.
You know what?
I wonder.
I think it's going to be Josh Achiampong.
I
Great
think
shout.
it could be Belle Silva. She turned the season around with that tweet. We've been really good since that
Yeah,
tweet.
no,
Yeah.
true.
That's till next time. That is us signing off. You've been listening to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At the Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.